Hey, good morning, folks. We're going to continue working on the artwork here for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that we're going to be publishing on DMsGuild as soon as it is finished. Let me check out my signal here, make sure I'm coming through clear. We'll get through my intro spiel, and then we'll get to work. So, let's see. Am I live yet? Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic live yet? Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, sounds like I'm coming through loud and clear. Fantastic. I got better sleep last night than yesterday, so that's a good start. Let's see. I'm going to go through my intro spiel here in a second. I'm going to boost my signal across the net while I do so. So don't mind my multitasking. But hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and then I publish them online. And I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition here for the past 5-ish years. There's a slew of links in the description down below to previous works that I've created, and they all have extensive free previews. So if you're here for artwork, there's probably about 150 different illustrations strewn across the different books that are just linked there, and there's a lot more of stuff. These are just the few that I'm spotlighting right now. So you can check that stuff out if you think it's cool. Thanks. Hold on for a second, I got lost in my signal boosting effort here. Live streaming today. I think we're down to here. There, boost. Cool. Yeah. So slew of things. If you're a D&D enthusiast, I run campaigns. About every 250 hours, I'll run another 1 to 20 level campaigns. So the stuff that I have in there is meant for both DMs and players at every tier of play. So grab something, check it out. If you think it's cool, consider making a purchase to support similar shenanigans in the future. Otherwise, a great way to support the channel is if you want to get notifications when I'm live in the future, you can follow me on Twitter, X. If you're still on that platform, I'm at Phil Kearney. But best way to support the channel right now is to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. We're up to 225 subscribers. We're crawling our way to 500. If you find any value in these in these streams that I do, or the different programs that I run, please consider subscribing to support similar shenanigans as well. So, hey, GameSave, what's up? Milo, right? Welcome to the mix, my guy. So, I create role-playing game supplements, I illustrate them, and then I publish them. What does that mean? So, we'll have an idea. We'll put some initial language together. We'll play test it typically with my home table first. But if it looks promising, then we'll outsource it to third parties to play along and play test as well. If the stuff comes back good, then we'll drop in words. We'll hire an editor to help clean up the language. Once the language is clean, it passes back to us. We'll go into a a layout program. I use Microsoft Word, super basic but effective, very effective tools. We break up the text into chunks so that the words make sense on the page, and when we have a gap, such as with the combat section here, we'll then extract it as a PDF. We'll import the PDF into Photoshop, and then we start painting on the page, and that's what we're going to continue doing. This book cover we created back around episode 15. We're currently up to episode 242, so you can check out the playlist history for the Spelljammer Combat Exploration development. We go back to episode 15. You can see us creating the book cover. But here we are in the now. We're going to close this out and continue working today. So when we left off yesterday, we were cleaning up the frame for the ballista here. There's some nonsense gear work here that seems more aesthetic than anything else, but that's the nature of aesthetics. So we're going to let it sit. We're going to let it be as is, but we are going to come through here and continue cleaning up the architecture on this piece of machinery, and then once that's done, we're going to start working on the individual characters that are crewing this siege weapon. Milo, you were asking about DM tips, and I had some rambling musings on the Eberron stream from last night. For about an hour and a half, I kind of just rambled on about different observations and things that I would suggest for low level DMs, new starters I need to clean up this frame for frickin' real. I need to learn on that. I see some text kicking down there. I'll catch up with you in a second. I got a timer going, so we'll be out of here. We only got about 80 minutes today. I was a little slow on the draw this morning. Pardon the pun. Actually what happened was I got wrapped up with the prep work for the martial powers stream that we have today at we're deconstructing all of the Dungeons and Dragons archetypes for martial characters like fighters, barbarians, rangers, monks. And rebuilding them using the martial power magic system, which is different from spellcasting, but just as fun. So, and I feel like I'm just making this worse somehow. What's up? Hey, what's up, Andy? It's good to see you, my dude. It's a nice book I see here for what campaign is this made? This is Spelljammer. It's the Spelljammer mechanics from 5th edition that Wizards had put out last year were thin in design, and there was an opportunity here for us to start developing language for larger scale combat that we're using, that were basically vehicle combat that uses 5e mechanics instead of not using 5e mechanics. Everyone that wants to make vehicle mechanics or mass combat rules or like Bastion system stuff, like Dominion campaigns, want to do so using stuff that isn't 5e. Like, so that's a sore spot for me. And I think that, you know, if you're playing 5e, the rules that you should be making mechanics that are using 5e rules as much as you can. So a lot of my work is about taking ideas that are outside of the parameters that Wizards has currently been willing to explore and create those tool systems, again, using 5e. So when you're playing mass combat, it still feels like you're playing 5e. When you're doing vehicle combat, still feels like 5e. When you're commanding armies, still feels like 5e. When you're running a fortress, still feels like 5e. These are, you can do these things, it just takes a lot of work. Luckily for everyone out there that gives a crap about what I do, I put in a lot of work. And I figure out how to do it, and I get the thing done, and the playtest works well, and then we publish a book, and since I'm not a massive contender in the space yet, it mostly gets ignored. But the only way you can get great is by being unnoticed first. And I certainly don't mind paying my dues to a system that only rewards success and merit. So, you know, welcome to reality. Dude, Andy, my day is... I was born on a Tuesday, man. So Tuesdays are always great days for me. I always wake up knowing that this is the day of the week that I was born. And it's an opportunity for me to look at life with fresh new eyes. As though a babe. So that's what we're doing. I'm babing today. We're doing the Rune Knights in the Martial Power System today at lunchtime. So I'm super excited about that. Rune Knight's like a space between Artificer and Fighter, in my opinion. And that's how we're building it. So everyone gets to see how the power gear system works in the martial powers test, and I am really looking forward. I suspect we're going to be able to fire up playtesting. Why are you so? Why is it so choppy? This is not circling well. I'm going to have to just start this over. Get out of here, you scallywag. Angles are still good. Yeah, I just need to rebuild that. Sup? Just a babe. I'll send that stream VOD to my friends. Cool, man. I'm not so interested in Jamie, but my friend would. Hey, right on, my guy. Currently writing a small system to run an encounter with your party like Iron. Oh, how fun! Nice, Andy. Andy, for those that don't know, is the co-writer for the Eberron adventure that we stream cartography and creature token creation for on Thursdays. And once this Spelljammer book is finished, we'll be working on the Eberron stuff every morning, Monday through Fridays, just as we do for Spelljammer right now. Once this gets out of the way, the Eberron project becomes the primary project, and I suspect that's going to be, well, it's obviously we're already in Q4, so God's willing, we'll be done with this by December. The amount of art that these books takes is grueling, honestly. It's if I wasn't streaming, I would be horribly demoralized because it is a long slog. 100 pages worth of book. That is no light. It is no light lift to do that. So I'm really glad and thankful that I'm streaming so that I can have the. It's why I started streaming in the first place, is to hold myself accountable and to build the endurance to be able to process books of this size, but to also demonstrate to the common public that probably isn't aware of the book creation process of like how deep of a tunnel you fall into when you're building projects like this. Like 100 pages is a significant project. Especially as a solo project, Jesus. The big difference in the Eberron project and this one is that there's a lot of maps that consumes the visual space inside of the adventure. Primary visual assets start with maps, and then creature tokens, and then spot art for anything like visuals that need to clarify how a room looks or something like that, depending on what space will be available. So once we get this out of the way, and Stuart Braz, our editor for the Eberron project, once that's all completed, we'll be able to start doing the page layout process like we had done here. Probably, I think that was like around episode 70 that we were, maybe 80, that we were doing some page layouts here. Not a very popular portion of the game design process, watching me push pixels around or pushing text around a page to make it sit pretty. That's even less popular than building diagrams, but it's a part of the process that has to be done, so we'll document it here for everybody's amusement. And then we'll probably still have a lot of audience for Eberron once we actually get to dropping text into the pages and breaking up the maps into their individual components to sit on each page. I think that'll have a lot of value for people to take interest in as well. We'll be crash coursing some of that system here when we get to the back end of this book, the Light of Xeraxis conversion we do. The Light of Xeraxis Adventure was included with the Spelljammer box set for 5th edition as a showcase for what they imagined Spelljammer to be. So naturally we included a conversion guide for Light of Xeraxis using the mechanics that we're using in D&D to showcase how you can change it to have, high-speed combat, fighter ships, fleets, upscaling spellcasting to affect ships directly. A lot of fun components in here. It just takes a lot of time to build out the assets for it. So, Lardy Dar. No one cares, though. No one cares about the suffering. No one cares about the pain. They just want to see the end results, which is totally fair. Most people don't care how much hours and sleep game designers get when they're building a video game. They just want to know if it's fun to play or not, and I respect that. But there's also a fair size of content creators that are interested, or people that are interested in getting into content creation that might not know what the struggle really is, and if they can tolerate getting through my stream and watching all the things and have questions and stuff like that, ask them blah blah blah, then maybe they'll have the mental fortitude for themselves at the end of all of this to take on the challenge of building their own books. And then we'll see you online. That was the goal. And then I just kind of fell in love with doing it. It's fun to hold yourself accountable. Speaking of which, I think there's some more text on the wall. quite a challenge, but I got some nice crit chances now at 7th Assassin. So magic items to cast spells to potions. Started TES Arena. Elder, is that the Elder Scroll? Is that what TES is? I'm picking a character, building quiz options. Then I forgot that assassin isn't a spell sword. Right on. Yes, everyone wants more cooking. Everyone does want more cooking stuff. Cooking is a fun little side hobby, especially if you have long rests and you're setting up camp. Having a cooking thing to do as a downtime activity, which is just part of your long rest routine, is actually a great idea. I think having more tasks, downtime tasks for characters in general in 5e is a good idea because it helps root them into the world a little bit more than just adventuring day over, refresh your health pots, and then continue on to the dungeon. That's kind of like what a short rest is supposed to be for. So a long rest is an opportunity for people to, like, if you're gonna, like, that's like if you have siloed turns in your campaign, where like we're doing combat right now, then you'll switch gears into exploration, and then you'll switch gears into like interrogation. These are like different modes of gameplay inside of role-playing games in general. And I need to change the perspective on this. I'm going to cut this handle off here and then get into this like that. Good. Perspective, good. So cooking challenging stuff, there is a not a small population of D&D enthusiasts that like integrating cooking into their games. So Andy, I hope that goes really well, my man. Cooking good. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's just like, you know, a barbarian can pick up cooking, and now that barbarian has like a rudimentary purpose in the party beyond just smash stuff good. Sculpt that into the proper shape. It's starting to feel pretty good here. Right now we are building a gear ratchet. Basically, it's how do we express this? Where's a we'll just switch. No, we won't. Hold on. There we go. So right now what we're doing is we're building like a gear cog that goes like this, and then we have a wheel, which is this base here. We're building a flywheel here on a joint, on a curved arc. So the stick with the teeth, as this gear turns, it rolls forward, and so it changes the angle to heighten the angle of the ballista. As the gear rolls this direction, it lowers the ballista. So we have to have a gear. I think it's is that a crankshaft? Is that what that's called? That's essentially what we're building right now. Or, you know, Trying to, anyway. Let's see. Challenge to obtain a magical weapon item. Yes, cook-off challenge. I love that. System, yeah, all these things, absolutely. You know what? A barbarian would make an excellent butcher. That curves. There's a number of harvesting game of subsystems of cutting pieces of flesh off of different creatures that you defeat and get magical properties from that. Like if you were to use the cooking skill to be able to like as a means of creating temporary magic items. That'd be a fun way to do it. Like you kill a beholder and you cook its eye that night, and then your team has magic resistance for the next 24 hours, for instance. There's got to be something that exists like that out there, but I always think about systems. Like I don't think about encounters or adventures nearly as much as I think about just like systems of game that can be integrated into different adventures. But surely that must have been done already. It's probably been done like a dozen times. It's like I wouldn't do it personally. I think it's probably, trodden ground. But that's the kind of stuff that you can do with cooking. Come on, my guy. I gotta get this thing to stick. My smudge tool's acting odd today. Let's make that stick. I'm sure I'm breaking my nars over this. I don't think I need to. Maybe I can just grab this guy here. Ah! Look at that. Isn't that just synchronized so sweetly? Man, sometimes these things are a bitch. I feel like this whole structure here is just misplaced. So I'm gonna take this whole... Let's do that. Let's move this sorting things out here. Feel like we need to switch up that anatomy like that. Something like that. Where are we at in here? Yeah. Like that. Where are we at? Yo. Made from chocolate. Oh yeah, is the color weird on it? Looks like there's purpley going on with it. I think we need to raise this. It is a pretty smooth consistency. We're going to skew and then perspective. Then free transform. I feel like I'm missing the mark here. Maybe what we need to do is, I thought I was going to be quick and easy on this thing, but then the architecture started getting pissed off and build. Gotta build. Drop this down to here, have this up top. I'm gonna grab all of that, honestly. Drop it down a little bit. Good. That is better. Change approved. Let's get under here. Merge that down. Merge that down as well. Working for us instead of against us. Good. Now maybe we can check our text. Any forms of chemistry? Yeah. Spices. Yeah, we're doing fine. Gumdrop cannon. We'll put. We'll have a chocolate ballista with candy cane ballista bolts. We'll make it festive. Cleaner lines. Yeah, right on, Andy. It's good to see you, my guy. Enjoy your day, dude. Andy is also who commissioned me to do the book cover that we're building on Saturdays. So if you want to see me doing some book cover work, swing by and check out Saturday's art stream in the mornings. Aha, I see it. All right, this is what we need to do. Cut, paste. This has to happen. How can we do this? We can do... this way. Love this song. This is Epidemic Music. It's pretty good streaming service. There, we can build a ball joint here, and then have this rocking inside of it. That will get us to where we actually need to be, and that gives it purpose for the for a turn crank here, and then a draw crank here. This is stronger. This is going to end up being much stronger. So I am happy where we're at right now. Not what I expected, but this is what the muse demands, and this is what we're going to produce. She knows what's good. She knows what's best for the pictures. Nice thing about having a muse on your shoulder is that they exist outside of time, so they know what the end result of this thing is supposed to be, and they feed you the information pixel by pixel. My job is to go along for the ride and to minimize the amount of drag and resistance. Resistance is probably a better word. To minimize the resistance of the signal that's coming through, to transmit through the flesh that pushes the pen that makes the pixels do. And if you don't believe in magic, that might sound like a crazy thing. But I don't care. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. Let's see. How am I going to make this sit? Probably just make a circle and then perspective it. This is the way. This is the way. Nice. And then Now we're getting the results that we were expecting out of this, I think. Recolor this. I just want to make sure I get the angles right on it finally so I can stop worrying about it. This is definitely what was creeping around inside my head. I just couldn't hear it yet. Like that. Curve that in. Talking to myself a lot, I know. I know. There. That's where I have the curve in, right there. Merge that down. Inside that space there, like that. Where you at, buddy? Yeah, I think we're doing okay here. That feels right. I feel like my timer is going to pop sometime soon. It's on a 20-minute timer, and no, we're only halfway through it. But where are we at on time? 7:20? Okay, we still have 40 minutes. 30. From here, we'll finish out this morning, and then I'll go to my day job. We'll be back for lunch. Let's see, it's 7:30ish now, so in about 6 hours, 1:30 in Seattle, West Coast time, USA. That is about when we stream our martial powers each week on Tuesday. We will be working the Rune Knight this week, which imbues magic into items to use them for shenanigans. I think that's the theme that we're going to go with. One without the other. Yeah, decided I like small pictures better than big ones. Probably because they take less time to finish. Very self-centered of me. Losing perspective, like literally the perspective is off. So let's do that, and then back that in line. There we go. Just got to make sure these perspectives all line up. And we got to put in the actual arm. Drop the arm back in and make sure it's in perspective. Where are you? Blunk. There you are. Not bad. Not bad. That's about where we want it to be at. Let's up that a bit. Yeah, it turns out this is actually fairly accurate, like this. That's good. Now we need to properly shape here. There we go. Now we're starting to see it. This is where we were trying to get to. Thank you, Timely Timer. We got another 20 minutes left. Not nearly as where I thought I was going to be today, but I didn't think I was going to be here 5 years ago either, so cheers to that. Good. Come on, it's a very simple hinge mechanism. Simple machine, yo. Getting there. We're getting there. What's up? But how monological realistic? Yeah. All the chocolatey goodness you could ever ask for. That architecture working for it. Angle is, here's our angle that we're wanting to use. Like that. So it looks like we're off just a touch. Do that. Oops. Grab that bit, bring it down here. There. That's an easy, cheap little trick to make sure you get your perspective aligned. There. Milo, you an artist? I really don't have folks hanging out on these streams unless they're either an artist or they're a D&D enthusiast. I don't have a lot of just randos that hang out. I think I add a lot of value to most people's lives unless they're interested in art or D&D in general. Yeah, right on. Oh, fun. Right on, my guy. I'm a Photoshop junkie. It's the, I like the color tools in Photoshop more than anywhere else. There. Still reasonable. Now we gotta get online. Here. I'm going to pull that off frame. Work it down here in better lighting conditions. Make sure that perspective is working. Yeah, feels about right. let's take I think we can take this, then there. We can bring this back up to full capacity here. Opacity here, and then something seems awry. There, that's what we wanted to do. There, that is the way. So let's push this back up to 100. Text, what's up? So I need to say one thing about Krita. It will never need to make textures for your maps. If you will ever need to make textures for your maps, just use gmckrita filter library. I did some really nice brick texture using it for. Hey, right on, man. Yeah, I don't know what it would take to get me to switch over from Adobe to anything else. I've used GIMP, Corel, back in the early 2000s when these programs were first coming out. Yeah, I started with Corel, didn't like it, switched to GIMP, didn't like it, got into Photoshop, loved it. I acknowledge Krita and ClipArt Studio as strong contenders. It could just be that I'm too set in my ways and I like my tools as they are. Hard to say. Okay, we got that thing going on there. We got there, and then we have this here. There. Now it's just, now this is all just shadow, which is kind of where I wanted it to be. So I could drop this thing in on top of it. And it'll sit proper. And it is sitting fairly proper. Now you are trying to do some simple levels in Blend. Ah, yeah, right on. Hornetico is one of the designers that hangs out here fairly frequently, and he has been getting into animation and rigging as well. You two might have stuff to talk about. Or not. Who knows? You guys could hate each other. Who knows? Forward. Don't actually need. We're almost... Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. What a pain in the ass. Not how I expected to spin this morning, but hey, it is what it is. Not like I actually have a choice. I'll get rid of that. Okay, so I can afford to do this. Yeah. What if I... What if I... Now we're just making a little saddle, God, what is that called? A saddle joint? More and more simple. Now that's looking like a proper joint there now finally. Jeebos. Took us a while to get here, yo. But I am happy. I am happy with where we are going along with this. A little. Do not need that. Do not need that. Do not need that. Text. Yeah, right on, man. This should be here. And we can just go ahead and merge those together. I don't think that hurts anything. Liking this angle. Liking that. Liking it. Okay. So far, so good. So what? Good. Good, good. Good. Oh, man, this is looking so much cleaner now. I do need to adjust this thing now, though. Its perspective has henceforth been skewed. That feels like we're back online. I hope you like the taste of pain. Do some rim lighting here real quick. Or not. There. Good. And that consistency and that thickness. Must keep those edges. Intact. Straight edged. Less smudging. Good. I think I want to... Uh-oh. All right, so let's see. Commander. Turn crank. Gunner. pull the commander over a little bit, point more directly at Theurgy.
Feels about right.
It's like a lot of this architecture doesn't really matter because of where the positioning on these guys are, but we need to make sure it makes sense because we can shift these guys around, as you see. So you got to make sure the architecture actually makes sense. But as it stands, that's actually pretty good. All I really need to do is drop a Bolton through there, and then get the draw wheel back in place, and then that should be okay. Right on. All right, cool. So I think that's it for the day. We've made some progress here with the ballista. We still aren't done dressing it, though. We need to blop blop blop. We need to get the shuttle, the draw wheel, the joint pin, and then we can actually start working on the characters. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. Just like everything else, it always takes longer than I expect, which I absolutely hate, but it's not like I want to use stock art or AI or something like that. I want to do it myself. So that means it takes time, and luckily we got some folks that are willing to tag along for the ride, but this thing will be absolutely badass when it's done. It's just a matter of it getting done. So we're just going to keep plugging away at it every day here, Monday through Friday. I'm going to be back in, it's almost 8 o'clock here in Seattle now, so in about 5.5 hours, we'll be back to rework the fighter Rune Knight using the martial power system that we've been developing that'll also publish on the DMsGuild. And then we'll be back here tomorrow morning to hopefully finish up the ballista tomorrow. So hopefully I get to see some of you guys later on today. For those that I don't, see you hopefully tomorrow or in the future, whatever. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, thanks a lot for hanging out, man. Ciao, laters.